it is okay to feel. It's totally healthy to be angry. It's totally healthy to be disappointed and to be sad. Hey guys, and welcome back to another Limitless conversation with Sean. If you are new here on this podcast, we talk about understanding our limits, understanding where we are and our experiences, how we feel, how we're thinking, what is the logic behind it in order to expand and become as limitless as we really and truly are. I like to talk a lot about my personal experiences. I also am looking to bring my friends on. That will be season 2, bringing my friends on, talking about their experiences, because at the end of the day, we all connect. We're not having an individual experience that only you experience here. At its core, we can all relate. How drastic, how extreme each person's experience is different, but at its core, we all are learning and expanding through a lot of the same experiences, a lot of the same emotions, a lot of the same core issues, right? And so in order to be limitless, you must understand your limits. And so this episode today is honestly really vulnerable and probably one of the most vulnerable episodes I'm going to film. One of the most honest, for sure. So let's go ahead and just hop straight into this conversation. So if you guys are following and keeping up with the episodes, we have been following my journey of it feels like the closing of a chapter of my life, and the stepping into a new one. And what I want to talk about today, and the title of this conversation is, It's Okay to Feel. It's okay to feel. I talked about my battle, my battle about 2 years ago with anxiety and me being in therapy. I talked a little bit about it, and today I'm gonna go briefly into it. I believe it deserves its own episode, but it's a lot to why I move and think the way I think. And so, one of the things that I learned about myself in therapy is that I am really good at understanding why things could have went the way they did. So when things happen in my life, I oftentimes try to rationalize it, logicalize it, understand it, right? Oh, my mom wasn't around because she was working full time. Oh, my dad wasn't around as much as I would have, my mom wasn't around as much. My dad was pretty absent because he was working through his own issues and his own traumas with his parents. Oh, this person treated me this way because of this, right? I oftentimes can understand why things happen to me and what that does to me, and what that had done to me for a lot of my life is it invalidated my experience. It invalidated my feelings because I was trying to understand how they were working. I also grew up with my mom who's who's very, very spiritual. She's a life coach, right? So it's all about understanding the root and not taking things personal. And, and also the spiritual community often brings everything back to self. I attracted this. This is my fault. And there's a time and a place for that. You know what I mean? But today on this episode, we're being human. And I oftentimes talk about there's two different ways of this world. It's not just one way, right? The spiritual world oftentimes looks at law of attraction and how we bring things into our reality and how our mindset shifts our reality, right? But when I got into therapy, I got into my human bag, right? I got into my human side where I really needed to just feel, to be angry at people, to be upset, to blame other people sometimes and not always just blame myself, to see that I'm not the only contributing factor to how things are unfolding and that the world really and truly doesn't just revolve around me. Like my reality does, but the world doesn't revolve around me. I needed to be human. And so a lot of my anxiety that I had experienced came from me suppressing so much of how I feel that my inner being is like, hello, we have a side to this. We have a story. We have feelings. Yes, I'm angry at this. Yes, I'm hurt by this. And I did not ever really allow myself to feel those feelings. And so I went to therapy and I began to start feeling feelings again. And then that really reduced my anxiety a lot because it was just this outpour of all the things I had been harboring in. And then I moved into my journey of my really truly, I think, adulting, like living on my own and having bills, like true bills, like rent and rental insurance and electricity and water and those kind of things. And I moved into that space of my life. And in that space, I developed a lot in this space, I'll say, because I'm still technically in this space, but in this space, I developed a lot of my spirituality, a lot of understanding more of how the universe works, my mind works, my reality works, and my mindsets that I have adapted and really, really, really solidified, right, in a way. Because like I always say, I'm a walking contradiction. I'm flexible with the way that I move because different things serve me at different times in my life. So today's episode is called It's Okay to Feel, because I had realized that I wasn't feeling. What was happening is I'm going through this huge transition. I am leaving my current apartment. I am not really sure exactly what I'm going to decide as far as where I'm going to go next, but I know the options that I'm currently weighing out are none of which are the ones that I really want. I talked about last episode the beauty of your higher self not giving you certain things. That was my logical mind. That was my understanding of how I felt. That was my understanding of or that was my way to cope and understand why this could have went this way. But I realized that even though I understood why it could have went this way and that was great, the next day, and so we move to the story because everything always starts with the story, because stories are how we expand. Living is how we expand. It's how we grow. So here's the story of this conversation and why this all got started. So I got the news about not being approved for the next place that I want to go to. And my initial reaction to it was, I get it. It's not what's best for me right now. There's this other option that could be potentially really great and it could turn out beautifully. And maybe that's why God wants me there. Maybe that's why Spirit wants me there. My highest self wants me there. So I went through that. The second day, I got that news on a Friday. The second day was a Saturday. And Saturday was a beautiful day outside. It was so nice out. And last weekend was also really nice, and I was in the house, and I was kind of like, I don't want to be in the house. It's so nice out. This weekend, it was beautiful out, and I'm like, I don't want to be in the house. It's such a nice weekend, right? And I'm someone who, I do believe I have quite a bit of friends, not a crazy social circle, right? But I have five or six good girlfriends, 2 best friends, but 5 or 6 good girlfriends. And I'm dating someone pretty seriously, and it's someone I have history with, and that's the whole thing. And so I have that, right? So it's a beautiful day out, and I'm like, I want to go out. I don't want to be in the house. Initially, I was supposed to go out with my best friend, but she ended up having just a lot of things to do this weekend, so we couldn't go out. The guy that I'm pretty seriously dating at this time, he was with me last night and then the next morning, right? And then so I'm like, I kind of want to go out, but he had work that evening. So then that was turned down. Then I reached out to one of my other girlfriends. I'm like, hey, what are you doing today? I was going to see if you want to go to the mall, grab some dinner, some lunch or whatever, something really light, simple. I didn't want to do too much, just wanted to not be home, right? So she's like, oh man, I would love that, but I'm going out of town. So now I've reached out to 3 different people trying to just enjoy this beautiful day. And there was also this thing about, well, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. Just trying to enjoy this beautiful day. And I noticed my mood switched. I was very, very irritated. And then the guy that I'm dating, he was in the bathroom. And I said to him, I was like, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. He's like, what? He's like, why? What's wrong? I'm like, I'm annoyed because it's a beautiful day outside, and I don't want to be in the house. I want to go out and I want to enjoy it. And he kind of just listened to me and just was like, yeah, we can go out on Tuesday, blah blah blah. Because I really want to see Black Panther because that came out recently. So yeah, he said we can go out Tuesday. I'm sorry, I'm kind of zoning out. I don't know why. I'm trying to find the best way to express this, and there's so many there's not so many, but there is. So yeah, so there was that. And so I'm kind of just in my mind rationalizing how everyone's reacting, right? I'm like, okay, he has work. I totally understand. We can't go out. My best friend has a lot going on. I totally understand that. My other friends are out of town. I totally understand that. And then I was just like, you know what, Sean? You're hurt and you're feeling really alone. You just got this news that hurts and you feel disappointed. And I really came to the root of it this morning that we're going to get into that. But right now you feel very alone and you're frustrated because I've been also going through how I show up for the people in my life, and how the people who get to know me, who I really love and know a lot, I'm sure they will all say that they feel really seen by me. I make it my mission to see the people around me, to see when they're struggling, to see when they're up, to learn about them, to observe them. But honestly, I've never felt, I'm going to say this, I have rarely in relationships in my life felt that same kind of energy that I give to other people given to me. I've rarely had someone see me when I was really struggling. And the person who I can recall off the top of my head who did do that was my ex from my last relationship. He was the first person that I really felt like saw me. And when I say see me, I don't mean see the things that I'm saying out of my mouth. I don't mean the things that I'm already aware of. I mean seeing things that I don't even see in myself. Like when I talk to my friends and I'm listening to them talk, I can hear things that they don't even hear about themselves. I can see things in that they don't even see in themselves. And because of that, I can figure out how to best love them. And so I will say that my last relationship, as much as I like go back and forth with, like, I talk shit about that relationship and then I praise it in other breaths. But what I will say for sure is that when I got anxiety and I was in my family's house and I had no idea what was happening with me and why it was happening with me, he saw it. He did. He said, you got to get out of this house. He made it his mission. I didn't want to, but he made it his mission to get me to somewhere where I could have more clarity and I can see better. And instantly when I went there when he brought me out of that situation, my anxiety went down tremendously because he saw me in a way that I hadn't seen me. He saw things in me and things that were affecting me that I could not see. That is the kind of love that I want in my life. That is the kind of love that I want to be surrounded by. Now, we were missing things within our relationship. That's why we're obviously not together. But that is one thing that I give a lot of praise for that relationship, because he saw that and he showed me that someone else could have the capacity to learn me the way that I so often, this is making me feel a little emotional, the way that I so often do for other people. So on this Saturday, where it's a beautiful day, I felt so alone. So that was the first situation, and that's how I felt. I felt alone. So fast forward to the next day, which is that Sunday. I have a lot going on, right? I continued journaling and I found this new understanding, or I actually expressed emotions about another situation I'm not going to go into in my life that I got going on right now. I'll cover it for sure at some point, but not right now. I was going through how I felt about that, and I came through a really big breakthrough on that. Then this other breakthrough that I had with this situation with the guy that I'm dating, and then also my feelings about my place and my home and not having my own like my own space, like having my own apartment like I have been having for the last year. There were so many things that I just was feeling and thinking, and some big discoveries, some I was still sorting through. And when you're going through these kind of things, who do you want to talk to? Your parent. So excited to talk to my mom about all that I had been experiencing and learning, and just also share my thought process, and maybe even get some insight. I went to my mom, and wow, this is gonna be a long episode because there's just a lot. I went to my mom's house, came in, and I was just talking to her. I don't remember. First, I kind of was talking about something else, and then I started going into like, everything with my housing and stuff like that. She was giving me her opinion, her insight on it, what she thinks I should do, as she has been for the last few weeks. Then my family like, hey, could you like run to the store right fast, And I have so much like I'm gonna just say what I feel. I have so much going on that sometimes I don't have the capacity to be there for them because of the kind of relationship I have with my family, which we'll learn more and more about it as I talk. But because of like the dynamics of my relationship with my family, and because it's some of the relationships that have hurt me the most, it's harder for me to be there for them. That's real, and I realize that I can be there for people. So I'm like, dang, I'm really bad at that, but I can, because I've been really great at with my friends. But for the reason, I guess, because of my relationship with my family, it's harder for me to be there for them. And this day, I just needed to be filled up, so I didn't have the capacity to give to them that day. I didn't have the capacity to do something as simple as run them to the store. So they asked, and I said no. And from that moment on in the conversation, I felt my mom check out. Like, she didn't want to be bothered with whatever I was saying to her because I couldn't give to her that day. I couldn't do something that she wanted me to do that day. So again, here I am. Here I am asking someone to just be with me and to just hear me. And I hear y'all's thoughts. I hear y'all's thoughts already. I know. I already know the bigger picture and the being with myself. I got that. I'm being human right now. And I'm even telling my own mind, be quiet. I'm being human right now. I don't care about none of that big. This is what I'm feeling. I don't care about none of the bigger picture right now. So here I am with my mom who asked me to do something for her, and I couldn't show up for her. I couldn't be the perfect daughter in that moment. I couldn't be, because I needed my own filling up, and I couldn't do it. And she checked out of the conversation with me, and that again hurt me, because again I'm feeling rejected. Again I'm feeling like, okay, am I only valuable to you if I can offer something to you? Am I only worth listening to if I'm being something to you? And it gets frustrating because I don't ever ask people to be anything to me, to be anything for me. And I'm trying now to learn to be better at that. I'm trying now to learn to allow people to be here for me, to allow the people in my support system to show up for me, to allow myself to have the same, like, the things that I do for other people, allowing myself to see if other people can do that for me. And I'm just seeing if they can do that for me at this point. And it's in the process of learning who can and who cannot. It's hurtful because I'm giving everyone the opportunity to show me differently than what I have already preconceived in my mind. So when I'm trying to talk to my mom about what I'm going through, and she checked out because I couldn't show up in a way for her, that frustrated me, and that made me also feel alone and disappointed. You can see that I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And I will, no, that's that. What I also realized is that these are, now I'm going to get into a little bit of logic, but it's still emotional. What I understand that these people are just obviously projections of these feelings that I'm feeling, right, are obviously my own projections of what I'm feeling about myself. So I need to spend more time with myself. I need to see myself. I get that. And that's what I'm saying I'm working on. I'm working on that now. But I have to sit and feel through these human emotions because I'm also human. As much as I'm a spiritual being, I'm having a human experience. And so, yeah, feeling alone and being with someone but not being there. Yeah, it's frustrating. So I've attracted these multiple situations where I have felt alone, I have felt abandoned, I have felt disappointed, I have felt let down. And then I was journaling this morning and it all came together. It all came together and it all ties to this apartment. And it's bigger than this apartment because it's about what the apartment represented. The apartment represented my faith, because all odds were stacked up against me. And if I got this, that would mean like my faith. And I was really and truly one of God's favorites. And I do believe that, but that's what that would have meant. If I got this apartment, it would have meant that I was forgiven for the mistakes that I made here. It would mean that I had learned what I was supposed to learn, and like gold star for Sean. If I got this apartment, it would meant that I was ready for the next chapter in this new chapter. If I got this apartment, there was a lot riding on it. It would mean that Source Universe, my high self, was proud of me and was proud of everything that I had done, all the work that I had done. So it's a simple apartment, but it represented a lot. It was the answer that I was looking, or the confirmation that I was looking for on a lot of things. So this is what I journaled this morning. Because also this getting this apartment means that the last 3 or 4 months that I've been working my ass off, that I have been trying my best to show up. I've really been giving it all I have. It would mean that it was for something. it would mean that it meant something. And ever since getting that news, I've noticed I've had a lack of motivation. I've had a huge desire to just spend a lot of money. I've had those have been the two things. I haven't been wanting to go out and drive and make money, and I've been wanting to spend the money that I do have. I've been wanting to go out, just go shopping, just feel good, just feel this void. So this is what I wrote today. So a few days ago, I got the news that the very thing I've been centering all my moves around is not going to come through. When I first saw the news, I felt relief because I thought maybe, not even maybe, I know this was what was best. I began to spin in my head trying to see how this outcome could work in my favor. I said, oh yeah, I can travel now. Oh yeah, I can pick up more hobbies now. Oh yeah, now I don't have to work as hard as I've been. Oh yeah, that place was going to hold me back. Here we are a few days later, and my lack of motivation has significantly decreased. I don't want to drive Uber anymore. My creative juices for branding, my podcast have been I don't know, lower. I don't know what I wrote there. I just want to be at home trying to figure out what's next. The only reason I worked was for that apartment. The only reason I applied for jobs is for that apartment. And when I was told no, I immediately felt like everything I did was for no reason. Well, not immediately. The next day after I had hope and optimism, I felt hopeless. I'm sorry, the next day after my hope and optimism, I felt hopeless and directionless and abandoned. The worst thing about this is that I didn't feel abandoned by a person whose actions I could justify, like I had been doing all my life. I felt abandoned by the one thing I got my encouragement from, my love from, my vision from, my light from, and that is the universe, source, and my highest self. How could you give me so much hope and let me down? See, all the things I felt the first day, that it was for the best, was me trying to justify the betrayal and abandonment and hurt I am feeling. I'm hurt because this decision feels like forever. I'm hurt because I'm tired of you letting me down as I try so hard to understand what you want from me. I try so hard to work on myself. I try so hard to be a decent human. I try so hard to understand you. I need to understand. Why would you build me up only to break me down? Saturday, I felt so greatly that I wanted to spend all of my money on anything. I craved some me time, kind of. I craved some me time, kind of bad. I had this desire to plan some dates with myself. I decided I was going to take myself out because I felt so alone. Yesterday, I felt nothing really but exhausted and continued. That's what I already read, and that was the conversation about my conversation with my mom. Okay. Let's say, and I'm an avid person for saying it's okay to be angry with spirit. So I was going on about what I didn't get, and then I continued on and said I didn't get the amazing apartment to at least compensate me for my fucking troubles. I'm angry that I don't have the success as a content creator after over 10 years of trying. I'm angry that I don't feel worthy of the love I so greatly desire. I'm angry that I can't seem to figure out this missing piece. I'm angry that I feel directionless and don't know what or who to trust. This desire to take myself out, I thought would be good for me, to be with the one person who I feel like sees me and gets me. But I was gonna say doesn't expect anything from me, but that's a lie because I even have expectations of me, and I am feeling a lot of them. I've been so focused on I've been so focused on content because that's the only thing that's left of this vision of my life. I've been carrying for the last 3 to 4 months. So I ask, where/what do you want? And I know what I want, but clearly you have another plan. Like I said, there were so many things resting on me getting this apartment. There was I already went through the list, right? There were so many things resting on it, and then to not get it, I felt so let down by the universe, by source, by God, by my highest self, by the things that I draw my strength from. The only thing that literally sometimes gets me up and gets me going is that vision, that understanding, that version of me. That's what has me here now. I don't want to I'm tired because I feel like I've been at this for a very long time. And then I'm asking Spirit, when do I get the fucking break? When? I feel like I've done everything that I could do. I've showed up in every way that I could do. I've tried every angle that I could think of and still don't have the results that I want. So yes, I'm frustrated with you, universe. I'm frustrated with you because you're letting me down. And I show up every day and you're letting me down. So that's why I had this feeling of feeling alone and let down by everyone around me, because I'm feeling let down by the one thing that I have found so much faith in, the one thing that I have used to carry me through some of the hardest times that I've been having. And so today I just allowed myself to feel, and I don't have the answer. So I'm sorry that this podcast episode isn't going to close with me having some answer to this problem. By the time it goes live, I'll probably maybe have some formulation of an answer. But this conversation was really and truly to say that it is okay to feel. It's totally healthy to be angry. It's totally healthy to be disappointed and to be sad. Coming from someone who has strived for perfection, who I'm a sad, so I am naturally very optimistic, and I try not to steer too much on this side of things, but I realized and remembered that I don't have to sit and justify everything because it doesn't allow me to feel sometimes. Sometimes I just have to sit and feel. And the only thing that got me out of that today, because feeling too much can obviously lead to being depressed and things like that. The thing that got me out is the me of 5 years today. I still have to hold that vision. Even though I'm hurting right now, even though I'm disappointed right now, I still have to hold the vision because it is the only thing that is going to keep me fucking sane. It is the only thing that is going to keep me being as vibrant and bright as I love to be. But I'm also learning to love to be this thing right now, which is all the emotions that I feel. So the only answer that I have for you today is that how we're expanding through our limits today is that we're expanding through feeling and allowing ourselves to be with our feelings and not logicalizing them, not rationalizing them. Logicalizing might not be a word. Rationalizing them, not trying to understand them, not trying to understand why, and just feeling what you feel and knowing it's okay to be angry. Sometimes it's okay to feel like you don't have a direction. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to feel exhausted. It's okay to want more and be sick of not having it. Because law of attraction will tell you don't do that, because when you do that, you'll attract more and more of it. But when you try to suppress it, you also attract more and more of it. When you try to stuff it down, it's still at the root of all of your creation. So it's really better to just sit with it. And so the space that I'm in today is just sitting with it. And I wanted to walk you guys through the process of me walking myself through the process of feeling. First, I started off with this person I was dating, cool. It started off with my mom, cool. Then it got to the real root of my relationship with myself, my relationship with universe, my disappointment with myself and where I am. They say you only, and why I sat down to film today, because I'm sick of my own shit. I keep saying that. I'm like, I'm sitting down filming and I'm being on myself about this concept because I'm sick of my own shit. This frustration that I'm feeling, this aloneness that I'm feeling, obviously all stems from me not showing up for me. So I showed up today, right here, right now, in a very vulnerable space, in a space where I don't have the answers, and I'm so used to always having some answer. I still showed up today because this is what I want. And I'm not going to let me having a bad day stop me anymore. I'm not going to let me hurting stop me anymore. I'm not going to let me feel like I'm not worthy stop me anymore. Because I'm worthy right now, right here, in my most vulnerable state. I still deserve everything that I want. And I'm still going to show up. So, I love you guys. And I thank you for having this moment with me where we got to expand together and be honest together. And yeah, one thing I know for sure is that I'm going to come out of this on top. So I'm going to allow myself to be hurt for right now. I'm going to allow myself to feel what I feel, but I'm not going to stop showing up for me. I'm not going to be hurt and abandon me this time. Because this vision that I have, It's literally the only thing keeping me going. It's the only thing that I want. So, yeah. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to say, don't forget to follow me on my social media, child. It is all at Authentically Sean. That's on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And there was something I wanted to close out with besides that, but I just forgot it. So, yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.